Hello and welcome to another video. My name is TGH Travels and today I'll be continuing my series on the World Railway Voyage podcast and concluding my Russia Trilogy with the Trans Siberian Railway. Without further ado, let's get started. So this is part of a big trip that my parents and I did back in 2019 in the summer, and we travelled across the world by using railways. And this is the Trans Siberian Railway section of the journey. So this is actually the longest railway line in the world, which is 5,772 miles. So it's a very long route. It's the longest possible railway journey you can do if politics, of course, wasn't involved. But practically, yes, you can do this railway journey. It runs across Russia from Moscow to Vladivostok, with routes diverting to neighbouring countries like Mongolia, China, and North Korea. This project of this railway was for the Trans-Siberian route for people who travelled along this long journey, and so they decided to build a railway to help these people complete the journey. And this railway started construction back in 1891, and it wasn't until June of 1904 that the railway was complete and open to the public. Now, the route can range in speed depending on what part of the journey you do. So from 37 miles per hour to 87 miles per hour. So some routes are faster than others. Again, really depends on the route that you're taking. This is 8 time zones and roughly 8 days to complete. If you're doing from the very beginning, back in Moscow, all the way to like Vladivostok, so that's roughly how long it will take. And it is the third longest continuous railway journey you could take. So we actually travelled halfway through Russia to Lake Baikal, and then we headed south into Mongolia. So our route was from Moscow, which is where the previous video was set. Thank you as well for the support of that video. I'm really blessed to have seen the support for that video, so thank you for your time for watching. So we're traveling from Moscow and we'll be visiting the cities of Kazan and Yekaterinburg, and then we're going to be on the Trans Siberian Railway for 3 days, traveling across Russia and then heading south into Mongolia to the city of Ulaanbaatar. So yes, as I mentioned before, we're leaving Moscow and visiting Kazan and Yekaterinburg. We spent 5 days traveling on the Trans Siberian Railway, and we have taken photos of our journey deep into Russia, and we will be passing Lake Baikal, which is one of the largest lakes in the world and is the deepest lake in the world. So our 11th major stop on our World Railway voyage is Kazan. Now, this is the capital and largest city in the Tatarstan region of Russia. So this is a region in the country of Russia. It's split into different regions, and Tatarstan is one of them, and this is its capital city, Kazan. It's 200 feet above sea level with around 1.3 million inhabitants. Its history dates back to over 1,000 years previously, and it's actually considered the sports capital of Russia because it hosted many world events, including the 2018 FIFA World Cup and the Brooks Games in 2024. It's also home to Kazan State University, and also has a military past with the German and Russian armies training together in Kazan at the Kama Tank School. This was up until 1933, and it is one of the largest industrial and financial centres in Russia. And here are a few photographs of Kazan. We visited a couple of churches, and there's a lot of statues resembling the Soviet era, as well as a few fortresses. There's a few more photographs. In the top right, you can see one of the football stadiums that was used for the FIFA World Cup back in 2018. So we explored Kazan, and it was a really pretty city. And we then went back onto the Trans Siberian Railway to go on the sleeper and spent a second night on the sleeper. And here are a couple of photographs of our time just about to depart Kazan and head to Yekaterinburg. So the next day we went to the city of Yekaterinburg. This city was actually founded much later on than Kazan. It was founded in 1723 and is actually the fourth most populous city in Russia, with around 1.3 million inhabitants. It's also an economic center for Russia. So like with Kazan, which was more of a sporting center for Russia, the home of sports for Russia, this is its economic center in Russia. So again, these are two major important cities that we went to. It's home to some of the tallest skyscrapers in Russia and is the site of the murder of the Romanov family. I will get back into that in a bit. Here are a few things I wanted to show you. So the gentleman on the right was responsible for underwater cables with electric cables, which is why we passed this sculpture on the left of these electric cables, and they turned like blue to resemble the electricity passing through the cables. So this is where this gentleman has come from. He came from Yekaterinburg. This is the Church of All Saints. Now, the site is where Tsar Nicholas II, the last Tsar of the Russian Empire, and the Romanov family were actually murdered. The church was built after the fall of communism, so the church wasn't there at the time. It was built after the end of the atheism movement and the end of communism. Now, there was a house there called the Ipatiev house where the murders took place. However, it was then taken down under the orders of the Soviet Union on the 22nd of September 1977. So the church is in the top left, and in the bottom right is a picture of the Romanov family who were unfortunately killed in the Russian Revolution. So the church is open, and there is a museum about the Romanov murders, and the church is part of the Russian Orthodox Church denomination. Afterwards, we then spent 3 nights on the Trans Siberian Railway sleeper, and this is our sleeper which took us all the way to Mongolia. And this is an important station because in Krasnoyarsk, again, I'm not Russian, so I do apologize. My pronunciation isn't great, but this is where this is an important station because this is where the line diverts. So on one route, you can continue all the way to Vladivostok in the very far east of Russia, which borders like countries like China and North Korea. But we're going to be diverting south to Mongolia. And the symbol, it will appear in a bit. The symbol on the carriage is the Mongolian emblem, but we'll get back to that in a bit. This is Lake Baikal, which is the deepest lake in the world, and as I said, it's one of the largest lakes in the world. It's the largest freshwater lake in the world. Now, this is the home of the Buryat tribes. These are a group of ethical people from the region, and this is their home, and the lake is really important to them. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site. I do like to visit a lot of these World Heritage Sites, and it has been since 1996. It's also home to the Baikal seal, but we unfortunately didn't see any seals on our journey. This is on board the sleeper. Just thought I would show you the life. We slept in bunk beds in these compartments, and we ate in a sort of really nice sort of American style diner that they had in the sleeper car. So in the right center picture, that's what it looks like. You have these sort of red comfortable seats, and you have these sort of diner tables with like white cloths. We had like chips and caviar and chicken. We had beer, we had vodka. So I'm drinking some Russian vodka here in the picture. And the food was really good, and the service was brilliant, and the staff were absolutely delightful. There was a mix of Russian and Mongolian staff for this section of the journey, and they were all just lovely people. Like even the train driver was really friendly. He waved at us to say hello. And on the right, you can see the Russian and Mongolian flag. So this is the bar cafeteria where you can buy snacks to keep going on the long journey. And in the center left picture is me standing next to the wagon, the sleeper car that we were in, and it was a really nice sleeper. It really was. It was very nice. And the lady on the left was Mongolian and was making Mongolian dumplings. So that was a nice thing to see, and to see how she prepared these dumplings. And I'm going to be really excited to tell you all about Mongolia in the next video. So without further ado, this is it. This is the end of our trip to Russia. This was the last station that we stopped off at. As you can see on the carriage, it's the Mongolian emblem, and I will talk a little bit more about Mongolian identity and culture in the next video. There's Dad next to the locomotive that took us into Mongolia, and some of the passengers getting off to have a walk around, because it is a very long journey. And so this is it. This is where we ended our Russian adventure. So I hope you enjoyed listening to me. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you again for watching the Moscow video. Really glad that people really enjoyed that. And thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and stay tuned for the next video. This is TGH Travels signing off.